We are live.
All
Hello.
right. We are live. Hello. Hello, Facebook. Hello, everyone in the Zoom. Thank you for joining us today. We have such a special treat for you today. I have an amazing guest speaker. If you don't know her already, she is Linda Sunshine West. She is a publisher of compilation books, and her specialty is getting her books to international best-selling status. Number one international best-selling status. That's her superpower. So, how many how many books have you published now, Linda? I know it's we're
Yeah,
on the
well,
on a weekly basis, aren't we?
I know just about, I remember we did 4 weeks in a row. That was like,
Oh
whoa,
my
we can do
goodness.
this. We can do this. A lot of times I'll push myself to the limit to see what can I do. And if it doesn't work well, then I readjust to see how can I do it next time. And so anyway, we actually publish collaboration books as well as solo author books. Our main focus though is on the collaboration books. And so we do that because I'll share in a little bit. I'll share why I did this because it was a good marketing technique that I didn't know was going to be a good marketing technique. I had an idea that it might be. So if you're listening to this right now and you have a business and you aren't sure really which way to go, how are you going to get more eyeballs on what you're doing? I'm going to share with you a technique that I use in order to do just that. And but so we're at by the end of this month, we'll be at number 32, number one international best-selling books. And that's all been within the last 3 years, not even 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is incredible. I don't know how you do it.
I do. I got a system, girl. I'm going to share with you some of my system if you guys want to hear it. But yeah,
Yes,
it's
please.
incredible. When you set your mind to something, you can and will achieve it. But you got to have your mind set on something. And if you're anything like me, I have squirrel syndrome. I'm all over the place. I'm a mess. I have my fair share of times that I'm distracted and taken off into a tangent, like I was this morning when I was on a call with somebody. And next thing I know, I'm creating something completely new. And I'm excited to share with you guys today. Is I just told my partner Sally Green about it. She didn't even know anything about it, but I created it. It's all ready to go, like in the last couple hours. And so when you know what
Holy
you want to do,
cow. We're gonna
exactly.
we're gonna get the news hot off the presses here in a second. So
I'm so excited about it because it created this. When I share with you what it is, you'll see why I'm so excited. But it created this double entendre of me being able to do what I absolutely 100% love to do all the time, and then be able to incorporate the business into it. So that's like that perfect combination of what we call, what is called the ikigai. It's like I love it. I know what I'm doing. I'm damn good at it, and I can make money at it. Like that's the perfect ikigai. And when you can figure that out, things just kind of align and they fall into place. And that's exactly what happened. So when I had the idea this morning, I moved into immediate action because I am an action taker, and moved into immediate action to figure out like what's the smartest way for me to do this. However, I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not been doing all the things I've been doing before leading up to that, because I have systems in place. I know how to get something done quickly and get it out there quickly because I have systems. And so what did I do? I tapped into my system. I already created it and it's ready to rock and roll. So super excited about it. And I'll share that with you in just a minute.
all right. Wow.
Latara, I'm
We
on
got
fire
a
today.
cliffhanger here.
I'm on fire today.
Woohoo. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So maybe you can walk us through how uh this is relevant for people who are trying to grow their businesses, they're professionals, coaches, speakers, why they should have a best-selling status on their repertoire, and how that can transform their business.
Yeah, it's been incredible having that, that one, just the best-selling author status, right? We have non-published author. We have a person who's not even an author, who's not even interested in writing, right? Then we have a non-published, like a person who writes, but they haven't published. Then we have a published author. And then we have a best-selling published author. Then we have a number one best-selling published author. Then we have international best-selling author, and then we have number one international best-selling author. We have all these different ranges of where people are sitting on that, in that, I don't, the word fence is coming up, but I don't know why. That's not the right word, but that totem pole. Okay. The totem pole of book publishing, we'll call it. Ooh, visual. Okay. So we have this totem pole, and where do you fit on that totem pole? Well, first of all, when you have a book, I was just talking to one of our authors yesterday, and she was talking about how she's spoken on many stages, and she never had a book until recently. We published her book. I think it's only been 2 weeks since her book was published, and she appeared at an event where she was speaking, and now she had a book. So now that she had a book, people listened to her more closely because she's number one international best-selling author on this topic. And so when we have that, it does add more credibility to our names. We are the same person. We got the same knowledge. We have the same experiences. We do the same thing, but now we have a book. So there's something about it that just adds more credibility. I myself, when I hear of somebody being a best-selling author, even though I know the techniques to get there, I still I hold them in a higher esteem because they took the time, energy, effort to actually put it onto print, and then they made it into a book. It takes a lot to get there, to do that. And so I hold them in a higher esteem because they have taken the laboring oar to get their message out there into a book. Plus, I can get to know them deeper based on their book. So there's a lot of different elements that lend to being a published author, and especially when you're a best-selling published author, it just adds more credibility.
Yeah, that credibility piece is huge. And it's hilarious how you're not, like you were saying, you're not a different person, but people perceive you as the expert all of a sudden. And it just opens up so many doors that your business is never going to be the same afterwards.
Yeah, and you are the expert. The only difference is you have a book that proves it, right? So
Yeah.
there's kind of that element because you are the expert in your space and what you're doing. I see Michael Post is there on Facebook watching
Good,
live. Awesome.
good.
Thanks so much. Michael, it's great to see you there today. And we have in the audience here, we have Kim Robinson and Alan Roberts. I mixed your last names together, but thank you so much for being here, attending live with us. That thing is that there's a saying that it takes 2,000 hours, I'm sorry, 10,000 hours to become an expert. So you really think about like the thing that you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing, how many hours have you invested your time doing that? Now you may be an expert in that field. Maybe you're already out there speaking. Like I mentioned, her name is Martha Kartui. She's our most recently published author. She's already been speaking on the topic. She's already an expert in this space. Like she speaks about cult life. She grew up in a cult, a very
Mm,
abusive environment
wow.
that she grew up in. She escaped the cult when she was 25. She's now 45. And so she's had 20 years of experience, going through her life and transforming her life from that cult life. So she has expertise in this area. She helps people out of situations that they're stuck in, not necessarily cults. It doesn't have to be that, but she helps them and she can show them how to move out of that space. So now she shows up with a book, and that book adds more credibility. It just adds
Mhm.
that credibility to what she's talking about. Okay, not only is she talking about it, I can read about it. She's lived the life, I can read about it. And so it just makes a big difference.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Can you walk us through a couple of examples of somebody who's been transformed? And I have one in mind, and you shared this recently when you were talking earlier with Molly Mahoney about a woman who wasn't even expecting to to have it grow a business at all. Can you tell us about that story?
Yes. Oh, so I'm going through my mind trying to think of which one you're talking about
Oh,
because it's yeah, it happens. It happens so often. And one thing I love about what we do is in 2015, I did something a little bit different. And that's that I broke through one fear every single day for a year. I made a conscious decision to do that because I realized I had so many fears that were stopping me from living my life. And in doing so, during that year, I ended up joining a collaboration book where I was one of many authors that was, sharing my story in it. And that right there was a pivotal point for me because I never felt like I had anything of value to share. That right there taught me that I do have something to share. And then after I ended up breaking through those fears every day for a year, my mentor recommended that I twisted my arm that I need to write a book. And I was like, I'm not a writer. Like, nobody wants to read my story. I don't have any message, no value to share. And he says, no, you do have something. Breaking through a fear every day for a year is a big deal. You can teach so many people by sharing your message in a book. And I ended up writing a book, and that was hugely transformational for me in the writer, as well as those who had read the book. And one story in particular, and actually, it's kind of funny that Michael Post is watching right now and Alice, because they were at the event that a pivotal moment happened for me. It happened for them too. I won't tell their story about what happened, but that particular day, I was attending an event. There were probably about 300 or 400 people in attendance. And this woman that I didn't know came running over to me and she said, I bought your book, The Year of Fears. I read the first 14 pages and I've already broken through 5 fears. See, what that did for me is help me to see that there was a reason I wrote the book. I had internalized writing the book as something that I needed to do for me. But it's not about us. Our stories, our messages, they're about other people. They're about helping them to transform, to make transformation in their lives. By us sharing our stories, our messages, we have an opportunity to connect with them, to connect them with them on a deeper level. And so that started to happen for me. Now, since that time, I'm now a 37 times #1 international best-selling author. It started with that first book. It had to start there. So what you're referring to, Latara, I'm going to share one. I'm not sure if this is the one you were referring to, but there's this one woman. Her name is Cynthia. She came to us to be in one of our books, and somebody referred her. And as I was talking to her, she's like, I'm just a housewife. I don't have anything really to share. Like, there's nothing that I can, no lessons I can teach, no really story there. I'm just a housewife. And then as I started talking to her, I found out a little bit more about her. And she has an adult son with autism, and she helps other people who have, children with autism. And so as we were talking, I was like, well, you could write about that, you know? And so she wrote her story about, living with a son, an adult son with autism. So she started to share that story. After that book was published, actually, I should say before the book was published, one of the things that we do at Action Takers Publishing is we provide value and opportunities for our authors to be interviewed on other people's platforms. And so Cynthia was like, I've never done any of this any of this before. I don't have a business. I'm just sharing my story, but I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity. So she jumped into, I think there were 4 different interview opportunities at that time. She signed up for every single one. She had never been interviewed before, but she did it and she was having fun doing that. And in the process, somebody saw her interview and said, oh my God, I got to have you on my show. So she started getting invited onto other people's shows to do what? To share her story, because her story was impactful and story is impactful. Our stories are the greatest way we connect. Storytelling has been around since the very beginning of time, and it will never go away. But the impact that we make with our stories is what it is. We don't know the impact we'll make, but and not everybody will tell us the impact that we've made. Not everybody's going to say, I read 14 pages and I broke through 5 fears, but there is impact that's being made with your story. It's so important for us to share it. So with that said, our mission at Action Takers Publishing is to empower 5 million women and men to share their stories with the world to make a greater impact on the planet. It's all about the impact. So that's Cynthia's story. And I haven't talked to her in probably about a little over a year or so. And so it's time for me to check in with her and find out what's going on. How is she getting out there? Oh, I forgot. Then after she started getting invited to be on people's podcasts, she decides, I'm going to do my own book tour. So she did a book signing tour. It's like,
That's
this was
awesome.
something that I don't have a story to tell to someone who is now sharing her story.
Wow. I just love, love, love that story. And like I said, you just don't know what kind of opportunities
Hmm.
becoming a best-selling author will open up for you. And one of the things that I've noticed is if you are a published author, your likelihood of being accepted when you try to go and speak on podcasts and summits, virtual events, all sorts of things, uh, it really does make it a lot easier for you to get accepted when you're trying to get into these types of speaking engagements. So, um,
Yeah. Well, and also you can use it it's a great business card.
yes,
One thing I say is like if somebody gives you a business card nowadays, it's all about the digital virtual business cards, but some people still have the paper business cards like I do. And so if somebody gives you a business card, they either enter your information in their phone or they get it home and they put it in a drawer or they never enter it or, all these different scenarios. However, if you have a book, the book and you give them the book as your business card, you might choose who you're going to give that business card to. You might be more cognizant of that. But then also they have that books like this one here, Do It Because You're Scared, my most recent book. And this book here, they're going to get it. They're going to put it on their bookshelf. Maybe it'll just sit there. Maybe they'll never open it. But every time they walk by this book, their subconscious will see it every time. And so when they walk by that, their subconscious is seeing it and they're remembering you. You're in their mind. It might be their subconscious mind, but then something might come up. Like, for example, 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, you need to talk to Linda. Now, I haven't talked to that friend in 2 years because, time goes by, right? But she thought of me like I'm top of mind. My books are on her bookshelf.
wow, that's
So
that's a thing I hadn't even considered as staying top of mind. Wow, that's amazing.
yeah. Especially today in the world, like all the noise, right? All the noise that's going on out there in the digital world, these videos, we've got so many people are putting their messages out there, but how do we stand out? And that's one of the ways that we can stand out is with a book. And you can give your book away for free and get people's email addresses, get them on your email list. Next thing you know, that can nurture them to becoming clients. If you have a high like a high offer, a high ticket offer, using a book as a way to get them in the door is a great way to do that. And so a book it serves so many different purposes and there's so many different ways that you can use it in order to get your message out there. And again, to get top of mind and then to remain top of mind.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's a really good point too, because if you are published, but you don't do anything with it, that's not going to help you. But if you leverage your book in your business and your marketing, then you get benefits from doing this. So it's not just a one and done. It's using it as your business card, using it to grow your list. And I think that another point is a lot of people have this concept that, oh, I just all I have to do is go publish a book and then I'm going to live off of the royalties, but that never happens. So
Not for
I
everybody. And my friend J.K. Rowling,
yeah,
Stephen
Jack
King.
Canfield maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but I feel like using it to as a point of contact is far more valuable than just the sale of the book itself. So that's a good thing to
Oh,
keep in mind.
definitely. Definitely. And because the book sales, like let's, talk about Amazon as an example.
Hmm.
If you're selling your book on Amazon, which if you're not, I highly recommend you do that. I know one guy who says I never sell my books on Amazon but he just uses it as a lead magnet for ads, which is awesome. But if you're going to sell it and you want to sell your book on Amazon, think something to consider is that the royalties that you make from each sale of, each book are not that high. So they might be five, depending on how much you charge, anywhere from, $3, $5 up to maybe $15, $12 per book. So if you think about it, let's say you're making a profit of $10 per book, just for easy math. So let's say that's your profit, $10 per book. You have to sell 10 books in order to make $100. You have to sell 100 books in order to make $1,000. But if your book is if you're using it as a lead magnet to get clients, and let's say your high ticket offer is $1,000, let's say that is your high ticket offer, you only need one client instead of 100 books sold to make that same $1,000. So if you think about the math, it's a lot easier to get one client than it is to have 100 book sales. For us at Action Takers, our focus is not on the book sales. Our focus is on what happens after people get the book. So really what we're teaching our clients to do is to use the book as a marketing tool, as a way to get people into your pipeline so that they will you get the drip campaign emails from you. They'll know what you're doing. You could talk about your book, do videos about your book, create courses about your book. There's so many different things you can do that can help you to make more money faster, easier, and then also to serve people better by using your book as that marketing tool to get them into your into your pipeline is, I guess, the word I'm coming up with today.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, you don't have to hustle as hard if you're leading people into that high ticket. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that for a lot of people, maybe I don't know the exact statistic of people that actually get published. Did you?
Well, what they say, and I don't know who they is, by the way, but the statistics that I've heard is that 24% of the population ever writes a book and only 3% ever publish. So while that's a lot of number, because we've got 8 billion people on the planet, so what is that, 24 million people, if my math is right, 240 million, I don't even know what the math is, but it's only 3%. So
That's,
that's
yeah, that's
small.
incredible.
That's a small
What is
number. So
incredibly
that's why people hold it to such a high,
right.
a higher esteem, higher regard, because you took the time to actually publish it. One of my earlier clients, this was before I did book publishing, and I used to run a women's mastermind, and we were in our session that day, and I said, okay, what's one action? Because it was all about taking action. What's one action you can take today that's going to help you to move the needle? And the needle doesn't have to move a lot. It just needs to move, move forward something, do something today. And so she said, well, you know what? I have my book that I need to finish. I said, okay, what do you need to do? And she says, I only have to write the last chapter. Like I've got it all written and the last chapter. And I said, okay, cool. She said, I started writing it 20 years ago. And then it's been sitting on my computer since then. I just need that last chapter. So here's the thing. First of all, she finished that chapter that day, and then she published her book. So she was able to use that book again as a marketing tool to get her message out there. Her book is about blended families. And 20 years ago, when she wrote the book, blended families weren't like a thing that was talked about as blended families. So she was ahead of her time, but she waited 20 years to publish it. She waited until blended families were a topic. Instead of being at the forefront, she was now coming into behind the wave. That's the first thing. So your knowledge that you have today, how can you utilize that and get that out there and make the impact now instead of waiting 20 years down the line? But then the second thing is that it was weighing heavily on her for 20 years. If you have a book inside of you, which I believe we all do, and Maya Angelou said it best, she said, there's no greater agony than bearing an untold story. I love that message because oftentimes we have the message, we have the story, but we're not taking the steps to do it. Why? I don't know. There's various reasons. Fear, a lot of times, is the reason. And so if you think about it, if it's weighing heavily on you, that's weighing you down. So when you get that book started, first of all, that taking that first step is saying, you know what, I'm going to sit down today and I'm going to start my book. And then you start writing, you have just lifted a tremendous amount of weight that you've been carrying around just by making that decision to get started. And then once you start writing, and then you start writing, and then you get into, you're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I'm loving this process. I'm loving that I'm finally doing this. I'm doing it. I'm taking the actions. I'm making it happen. It's such a beautiful space to be in because you get lighter and lighter and lighter because you're letting that load, that heavy load, you're dropping it and you're allowing yourself to float. And it's such an amazing experience to be able to do that. So that's what happened for her that day. It had been weighing heavily on her for 20 years. And that day, just making a decision to move forward with it was a light, like it was a load lifted from her. And then her actually finishing it during our session, because I used to run 3-hour masterminds 4 days a week. It was crazy. But her doing that during that session, boy, she just felt like she was on top of the world, from heaviness to lightness, like completely different shift, because she
Wow.
did it. She took the action.
Wow. I love that. Wow.
I got lots of
Yeah,
stories about books, by the way.
I love it so much. Oh my gosh, I love talking to you. So I think that there are a lot of people out there who want to make an impact and they want to share their story. And I think there's also a huge bar of entry because writing your own book and publishing it and getting it out there and being successful at it just seems like a daunting task for probably the majority of people out there. And what I love about these collaboration books is that it makes it so easy to get your story out there and you're not alone. You're journeying with a community of authors, of like-minded people who are all uh, trying to reach the same destination together, and it's just magical.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I love the collaboration space because first of all, I'm a collaborator. I love collaborating with people. I love community. I love being in community with people. And so doing collaboration books completely made sense for me to move that route because I want to be around people. As doing the solo books, I love them as well, but it's not as much of a community. It's one
mhm,
person, right? It's not a
right.
community. It's one person. And so for me, seeing what the collaboration books do for the community and helping the authors to connect with each other, whether it's in one book, which is each book is themed, which so this the brilliance, to me, the brilliance of the collaboration books, which I'm not sure if Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen are the ones who started that. Actually, I do know that Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen of Chicken Soup for the Soul are not the ones who started a collaboration book. The Bible is probably the very first
Oh,
collaboration book,
that's a very
right?
good point.
I know, but Kim's
Yeah,
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's like, yes, yeah, because the Bible is a compilation of stories. It's a collaboration book,
right. I haven't even thought
and
about
and
that. Oh
and what
my God.
happens in a collaboration book is, first of all, as the writer, you're connected with like-minded people because the book is a theme of a topic that you resonate with. So we
Right.
have recently we published a book called The Mind Body Connection. All the authors in that book are into mind body connection. So what happens? The community connects with each other because they all have the same sort of belief system. And then the readers are reading because they want to learn about the mind body connection. So it's a theme. And this is one of the things that makes it great, is because you write only one chapter. It's based on whatever the theme is of the book. And you write it in a way that the readers are looking at, they're like, oh, this is a book that I resonate with that title. Let me go read it. Now they read your story. They resonate with you or not. If they resonate with you, they reach out to you, but you're only writing one chapter. So our chapters are anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 words, depending on the book. We have a range of different entry points for people wanting to, share their story. And so they range, the numbers of words. And so you write your chapter and then we do all the rest of the work, like, the editing and the proofreading and editing, the formatting, the book cover design, the marketing materials. And literally we make it so that you just need to copy and paste, copy and
Mhm.
paste, you're done. You write the story and then we do the rest of the work. And it's such an amazing journey for authors, because we do make it fast, fun, and easy for them. Those are the words that our authors were saying about what we do. And so we adopted that to be our tagline: fast, fun, and easy.
Yes, yes. It doesn't have to be a grueling process.
Exactly. Exactly. It's funny. I like to say, we're fast, fun, and easy. That's our book publishing, not us. I'm not fast, fun, and easy. And book publishing is.
Right. Okay, so I do want to walk people through some of the ways that the having a chapter as opposed to a book can still benefit people just as much, if not more so, because you have an expanded audience because uh, your reach isn't just your audience that you attract, it's all of the authors' audiences all getting eyeballs on this same book. And
Mhm.
you have made it super, super awesome from the perspective of the author because um, there are several things that you're doing to allow them to use it as a marketing piece. Because I know that a lot of publishers out there, traditional publishers, that retain the rights to your chapter. And Linda saw this and said, I'm going to be a game changer here and allow you to keep the rights to your book or to your chapter so that you can use that as your marketing piece. Um, can you tell us a little bit more about that, and if there's anything else I'm forgetting as far as that goes?
Yeah, this was a very important piece for me because, as a person who I grew up in a very volatile, abusive, alcoholic household, which is a typically like lack mindset, right? That's kind of what I grew up in. And that's how I was for so many years, decades, until I was 51, when I worked with a life coach at 51. And then at 51, also, it was the year that I broke through those fears every day for a year. That was kind of like the catalyst, the start of me growing into having an abundance mindset and truly embodying what is abundance? What does abundance really mean? To me, abundance means sharing without worry about what might happen on the other side. And this is what I started to kind of move into. My mindset started to move there. And one thing I noticed is that the other collaboration books that I'm in, because I am in other people's collaboration, I believe in it so much. I'm in other people's collaboration books as well. I love the journey of it. But I have found that not all of us are created equal. Like not all publishers are created equal. And one of the things that I said is like, to have an abundant mindset, to say I have an abundant mindset and to actually live an abundant mindset are different. So, how do I know if I'm living an abundant mindset? It's when a situation like holding the rights to your story comes up. And for me, to me not holding the rights to your story creates an abundance because it's your story. Why should I hold the rights to it? And then I started thinking beyond that. And that was that what we're going to do is after the book is published and after it's hit that, number one international bestseller status, we're going to share a PDF copy of the entire book with all the authors so that they can use it as a marketing tool. They can use it as a lead magnet. They can use it as a free giveaway, to get people into their pipeline again. And so
Right.
utilizing that piece there was big for me because I started to have some resistance over doing that. But that was when I have resistance over something like that, that tells me I'm moving into my lack mindset. And so I looked at it from that perspective of, how can I say I have an abundant mindset, but not live an abundant mindset? And so I looked at that and I said, this is something we're going to do that's going to be different than other publishers. We're going to give everybody the copy of it, and you can use it however you want. If you want to sell a copy of it, the PDF copy, you can. It's up to you. You keep 100% of it. If you want to use it as a lead magnet, you can do that. If you want to take your chapter out and use that as a lead magnet, you can do that as well. You can use the book as the tool that I intend it to be for you. And so that right there is I think that was a big game changer for me on many levels. Again, it was me realizing that in order to live an abundant lifestyle, I have to truly live it. I can't just say it. I'm abundant. Well, let's see it. Are you actually living it? This was a big check-in for me. So we do that with all of our books, and I'm excited to be able to do that. It kind of feels weird sometimes that we're going totally against the grain, but it's who I am, and that's what I'm all about. Not about going against the grain, but living in abundance.
Yes, I love it. Interrupting the status quo.
Yeah, and
It's
having
like
fun
we
with
can
it.
do better. We can be better. And what I also love about this is a lot of publishers um, put your chapter into the book, market it once, and then that's it. There, you don't get any support. There's no ongoing anything. And I think that one of the things that is very understated about what Linda has to offer here is all of these amazing benefits that you get just by being an Action Takers Publishing author. And can you share with us a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, and that's, again, that statement of like not all publishers are created equally. So if you're looking to be in a collaborative book, I would definitely talk to people who have been in previous books of theirs, and you'll look at those testimonials, because you may find yourself disappointed. We have had many, many authors that have come to us after being in other books, other collaboration books, and then being in ours and saying it's completely opposite, night and day, night and
Yeah.
day. And so one of the things that I felt was really important for us is to find out what are they doing that people don't like, and let me make sure that we don't do that. We
Hmm.
do that piece on the good side. And I myself, being in several collaboration books, I have experienced different ways that they're operated. I had one book that I was in that I didn't even know it was published. They didn't even tell us. They
Mm.
they said, "Oh, you're a best-selling author. Yeah, that's it. And congratulations." And like no marketing from us. Like I didn't get any materials. Yeah, I didn't even know anything. And no opportunities to connect with the other authors. It's kind of like I felt like a silo in a collaborative book. So it wasn't really a collaborative effort. So really
Right.
finding out, like, what are people saying about working with that company. And we have some authors, like, for example, I'm doing one right now where we're getting ready to publish it, that the publishing company they were working with, that it was not, they weren't communicating, they weren't making their edits. Like, there was so just lack of communication on that part, that they ended up deciding to go with somebody else. And so they're glad that their book is moving forward now, because it's come to us. So I'm not here to give a bunch of accolades about what we do, but here to talk about, just to make sure that you educate yourself on who you're going to work with. That's really
Yeah.
important, because there's nothing worse than this happens a lot, where people are like, I did this other book and it was a waste of time. It was a waste of money. I didn't feel like I got anything out of it. And
Mhm.
then, like, what's the opposite, the flip side? You want to look for that flip side. You're investing your time, you're investing your money, you're aligning yourself with that publisher. If that publisher has a bad reputation, remember, you're aligning yourself with that publisher. I was in a collaboration book that I have
Mm.
excommunicated myself with because of the shady stuff that they've done, that I didn't check ahead of time to see what this person was all about. They sold me into a book, and
Mm.
I bought it. I bought into the book, but
Mhm.
I wasn't happy with, the direction that they're going in their business. And I mean, actually, they've just been jailed last week. So, on a criminal charge. And so it's not like I'm just saying, oh, I
Oh
didn't really
my
like
gosh.
no, no. Yeah. And they will be jailed for many, many years for the criminal
Holy
things that they have
cow.
done. So,
Holy
with that said, I didn't do any due diligence to find out who is this person, what's their mission, who are they, what are they really all about? Not what they're telling me, but what are other people saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because what they were telling me was something completely opposite of what I would have heard had I talked to other people. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is extremely important. Oh my gosh, that is
Yeah.
what? Yes, do your due diligence before committing to a publisher for sure.
Yeah.
And I know that Linda provides every opportunity she can for all of her authors to get their their message out there, connect with others in that same niche, if you will. Uh, Speaking opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Providing a platform for podcasters to connect with the authors as well. So
Yeah.
you are very well connected in Linda's community and well taken care of in her care. So
Thank you. Thank you. I want to share why this is important to me. Like, why do I do all this? Like, why are we more than just a book publisher? Because when I started sharing my story, I found a tremendous amount of um, transformation within myself. And it was important for me to learn that I have value. And it was through me sharing my story that helped me to recognize and realize that I have value. And so I want to give that to other people, because having that, the more we believe in ourselves, the more we show up as ourselves. And the more that people value us, unfortunately, it kind of works backwards to me. The more people value us, the more we value ourselves. And so when we're showing up and we're giving opportunities to be in front of people, to share our message, our story, just opportunities to speak. When I first started speaking, I was terrified. I was trembling in my boots. I wasn't even wearing boots, but I was trembling in my boots. And it was through the process of sharing more and more and more that I became more and more comfortable, that I started to believe in myself, that I started to have confidence, showing up like with the confidence that I show up with today was not there 10 years ago when I first got started. It wasn't there at all. I remember I looked back the other day. I wanted to look at some of my first videos that I ever did. And I found my very first one, and it was something kind of like this. Um, and I was doing a video for a friend. There's a long story on that. I'm not going to go into it right now, but I was doing a video for a friend. They asked me to do a video, and so I'm like, "Hi, Ryan, it's Linda. I hope you're having a good day. I'm here doing the video that I told you that I do. Okay, bye." Like, that was my first video. There was zero confidence in that because I was terrified to do it. And so the growth that has come from that first opportunity to speak my voice out loud, the growth that has come from it, I had to take the first step. So the reason this is important to me, of what, providing all these different opportunities for our authors, is because I'm possibly that conduit for them. I am possibly that first step. And if I don't give them those opportunities, they will miss that step. That's why it's important to me. So
that's
it's why we
huge.
do what we do.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
And
I want
Tara, actually, that takes me. I'm going to switch gears here just for a second, because
okay.
I'm going to take you to the idea I had today.
Oh
So,
boy, yes, let's
yeah,
hear
at the
it.
beginning of this, I kind of alluded to the idea that I had. And so I was on a call with somebody. And by the way, this idea has come up to me many, many, many times, but today something was different. And you might be like that with your own story, that it keeps coming up, keeps coming up, but there's something different about today that makes you say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to start. Um, I was I was on this call today with this woman, and it was just such a great conversation. As I was listening to her, and then I was my comments, and we were just talking back and forth. And I had this thought. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm finally going. Today's the day. I'm going to make my decision. And as I was on the call with her, I went to GoDaddy. Is the domain name available? What I want to do. And it was. So I bought the domain name. And I had this idea years ago that I never acted on because I wasn't ready. It just wasn't time. And the idea is to, first of all, I'm starting a show, and the show is called The Open Book Show. So it serves two purposes. One is because, as a publisher, the open book, it's a great name, but also, are you an open book? Do you have a message you want to share? Do you want to participate in conversations that we really go deep down into the weeds? So this is the show, the Open Book Show is going to be a talk show where we invite panels of people to come on. It's not going to be a one-on-one interview. It's going to be panels of people where we're going to tackle topics, discussions that we want to tackle, And so I'm super excited about it because it's something I've been thinking about, but I wasn't really sure on the full logistics. Today, that call was the catalyst to make me decide to actually do it. So you can go to right now, theopenbookshow.com. If you're interested, if you are an open book and you want to share your message, then you have an opportunity to join theopenbookshow.com and sign up as a participant. What it's going to look like is it's going to be once a month. It'll be the first Saturday every month from 10 a.m. Pacific time until 2 p.m. Pacific time. It's 4 hours. You don't have to be there the 4 hours, but I will be there the full 4 hours because I want to hear these topics. And so really it's about, bringing people together on a common theme topic, which they will be themed every month will be themed. And if you sign up as, if you fill out the application, there is an application because I got to make sure I'm in alignment with who you are. And you already know if you're in alignment with me because I'm here talking right now. If you're not in alignment with me, this is probably not the show for you. But if you are in alignment with me, I need to make sure that I'm in alignment with you as well. So the application serves that purpose for that. Once you fill out the application, it's a one-time application. Every month will be a different theme, different topic. I will announce it to those who complete the application and invite you to participate. The first one will be in August 3rd. And then we'll do it every month after that. It's one day a month and it's going to stream live. And once it's done streaming live, it will be deleted. It's not going to be available for replays, none of that. We will still, take some snippets from it and post snippets, but I'm not going to have a whole 4-hour thing available for replays. But anyway, that's what I'm doing.
That's
So
exciting. Congratulations. So
about
awesome.
it. So
So
you
awesome.
can go to theopenbookshow.com. It's a lengthy application, but it's a one-time thing.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Awesome.
I
And you
created all
heard it
that.
here
I
first. You heard it here
created that,
first, folks.
Latara, since 10:30 to now.
Ooh,
So in the
wow.
last 2 hours, I created that. And I share that because if you know what you're doing and you have the tools in order to do that, you can move into action fast. This is, having I knew exactly what I needed to do in order to create what I'm creating. I didn't make it complicated. I made it easy. I created a form. I bought a domain name. All I need to forward that domain name. Oh, don't go to the Open Book Show yet because I haven't forwarded the domain name. I just need to forward the domain name, create a
Coming
form,
soon.
and
Coming
then,
soon.
yeah, it'll be when we're done here. It might be while we're here. I don't um, but I made it easy and
Yeah.
easy. And what am I doing? I'm providing a platform for other people to come and show up and talk about topics that interest them. It's what I love to do. So why was I not doing it? Well, because time. So anyway, that's
I love it.
bottom
And
line.
speaking of action takers, being in your ecosystem has done wonders for me because you kind of become the people that you hang around, and just being in this system with you is just such a motivator for me to, if I have a vision of doing something, I'll be out there doing it instead of just at home just thinking about it going
Yeah.
someday, someday.
Someday never comes. It never
Yes,
comes.
exactly. So,
That's so funny.
are there any questions from the people here in Zoom with us? Any questions? No? Okay, cool. All right. So, what I want to do now is switch to how can people join one of your collaboration books? And we have a variety of books open right now that you can jump into. And let me just pull up my documentation here so I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So the first book is Choosing Confidence. And this one is super, super awesome because
They're all super awesome.
oh, I know. They're all super awesome, but this one is headed by hosted by what is the word for that?
I don't know, curated,
Spearheaded
hosted.
by
They're
Molly Mahoney, if
spearheaded,
you know
yeah.
Molly Mahoney.
Oh,
So
by the way, just an interruption break here.
yes.
Theopenbookshow.com now does go straight to the form. Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Okay, go
good,
on.
good. That just now happened. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, go on. Back to the show.
Awesome. Okay. So tell us a little bit about choosing confidence.
Yeah, it's called Choose Confidence,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry,
it's
choose
all
confidence.
that's okay. Choose Confidence. It's all about what we're looking for in that particular book is you're a person who shows up confidently. How did you get there? Like, how did you get to that place? It took me a long journey to get to that place of being able to show up confidently in the things that I do. And I'm going to be sharing my journey of that. If you're a person like an absolute ideal person for this book is somebody who helps people to gain confidence. So whether it's a life coaching, business coaching, it's doing some sort of coaching, because again, we want to use this as a marketing tool for you to get clients. So how do we do that? We share our message, our story about how we help others to gain that confidence. And so at the end of each chapter, each author can, they include a bio, and in that bio, you can include a link to your website. So it's a marketing opportunity. Molly Mahoney, why I work with her is if you know Molly, if you don't know Molly, I'm surprised because she is in this world and she is all over the place and she has a big message about helping people to get their message out into the world with different marketing techniques and stuff. I'm in her programs and I've known her for 8 or 9 years now. And so working with somebody like Molly, because we've got the marketing engine that we are at Action Takers Publishing, and then you couple that with Molly's, and it's like skyrocket. It's just a crazy, crazy difference that's going to make in that book. And what I love about it too is that I'm going to learn a lot from Molly in this process that we're going to be able to bring to our other books. So, I don't stop learning, and so the Choose Confidence book, we want to hear those messages, those stories, the techniques, the tools that you use to step into confidence. And that's what we're looking for in that particular book.
All right. All right. And the next book is Wickedly Smart Women, Volume 2, because the first one was such a huge success. You had to do
Yep.
another one. Talk
Yeah.
to us a little bit about that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Wickedly Smart Women, Trusting Intuition, Taking Action, Transforming Worlds. And this is volume 2, as Latara mentioned. So with this book, it's headed up by Angel B. Hartwell. She is multiple times, I don't even know how many awards she's won now for her podcast titled Wickedly Smart Women. So it's in streaming in over 160 countries, I think, last I heard. And it's again, she's won multiple awards on that podcast. And so Angel has her show, Wickedly Smart Women, and it decided to make an extension of her brand to books. And so we're doing the collaboration books with her. So this particular book is all women because it's Wickedly Smart Women. And this one, we're looking for the stories that you have trusted your intuition, you've taken action on that intuition, and then the results that you've gotten from that, whether it's transforming your own world or transforming other people's world by doing the work that you do today. So we're looking for women who want to share their story, their message in that book as well. And Latara is dropping her links in the chat there for you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm multitasking here. So yeah, I'm putting the links in as we're talking about each book if you want to join that. And the next book that we have is Quantum Manifestation, Harnessing the Law
Yeah.
of Attraction to Realize Your Dream Life. I think that's a little bit self-explanatory, but why don't you go ahead and talk to us for
It's
a minute
fine.
about that?
Yeah, quantum manifestation, something I like to say is that we can hope, dream, pray, desire, manifest everything we want in life, but nothing is going to happen if we don't take action, right? It can be staring you right in that face, But if you don't take action, nothing is going to happen. So what we're looking for in this particular book is people who help people learn how to create, manifest what they want in their lives. And then also we want to hear your message, your story of how you have created and manifested what you want in your life. My first experience of absolutely like knowing that I manifested something was my husband. I manifested him. So I made a list of the top 10 things that I wanted in life. I had read a book. Again, it started with a book, and the book was called How to Be Married 1 Year from Today. And in the book, uh, one of the things that had me do, the only thing I remember of the whole book, like sometimes we write a whole book and the people reading it just need one piece, right? They have one piece that they can implement. And so in this particular book, it said, make a list of the top 10 things you want in a mate that you will not settle for anything less than that. So I made my list. And, at that time I had been dating a bunch of, toads to find my prince. And I was like, I'm never dating again. I'm so tired of it. I was just worn out. And then I read that book and I made my list. And I would look at that list every single day. And then about, was it 6 months later, I was introduced to my husband that we've been together for 36 years. And he fit everything on that list. I didn't know it at the time, um, but the book was having us, create this form of manifestation. I didn't know about the law of attraction back then. That was 36 years ago. And I had never even heard of that, or manifestation, but that's exactly what I was doing, was manifesting. So anyway, for the content manifestation, we're looking for people who either help people learn how to manifest what they want, or your story of yourself manifesting. What did you manifest? We want to hear about that. We want to share those messages to help inspire and motivate other people to manifest what they want in their lives.
Awesome. And the last book is Spotlight on Speaking. Why don't you give us a brief description of that one?
Yeah, and that one, Spotlight on Speaking, it kind of says what it is, right? Insights and stories from leading speakers. So if you're a speaker and you have not yet been in a book, or you want to be in a book that talks about speaking, especially, again, this book would be really, really ideal for people who help people to gain that confidence to get on stage, people who maybe your expertise is in the TED Talk stage area, or you help people to be seen, be heard, and be paid on stage, whether it's podcasts or different shows like this we're doing here today.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Linda? Oh no. Oh no, what happened? Okay, so Alan had a question, women only. So the only book that is women only is Wickedly Smart Women. The other books, it does not matter. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that question. We'll give it another minute to see if Linda's gonna pop back on. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go in and drop the link to this inside of the chat in Zoom and on Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, the links are in there as well. And also, while I have this minute, I want to also talk to you about the free gift that you guys get as a result of being here today. It's let me just pull it up here. It's Write and Publish Your Book, The Fast, Fun, and Easy Way Checklist. So this is a quick download for you to go through, just so you can get all of the essential steps that you need to take to get your book published if you're trying to do it yourself. I would highly recommend working with Linda because she's going to make it so much easier than doing it yourself. But this is a great checklist to start with if you're considering it. And it looks like we got Linda back. Yay!
Yeah, it's weird. My computer just shut down out of the blue.
Oh boy. All right, let me do
my
this.
lights
There
went
we
out
go.
and everything, so we must have lost power or something.
Oh
But
no. Wow. That's crazy.
yeah, my
All right,
computer
the
is
show
really
must
hot.
go on.
I've been talking too much. It's really hot. Okay, where
All
were
right.
we? Oh,
All
spotlight on
right.
speaking.
So the last one was Spotlight on Speaking. And I dropped the links in the chat for anybody who is interested in one of these chapters. And there's more good news.
What is it?
It is not only are you getting the chapter, but you're going to be getting a whole world of support in addition to this. So let me just quickly walk you through all of the author bonuses that you get for being an Action Takers Publishing author. So you get meet the author meetings 2 times a month. So you can, it's kind of like networking among all of the authors. You get
And I want to like just to plus on that. It's meeting the opportunity to meet the authors across all of our books, not just the book
yes,
that you're in. So you have
exactly.
cross opportunities of meeting other people as well.
Thank you for that clarification. Yes, very important. Yes. Okay, so the next one is a one-on-one book brainstorming session with VP of Author Development, Sally Green. So if you're stuck trying to figure out what to write about or how to write your chapter or how to have that lead into your call to action so people can start working with you, that's also included in that. Next is a book marketing coaching session with Linda. This is a $500 value. And so she'll help walk you through, okay, now that we're published, what can I do to use this as my marketing tool? Is that correct, Linda?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So the next one is how to become an amazing best-selling or Amazon best-selling
Amazing.
author.
Amazing Amazon.
Amazing Amazon bestseller. Top secrets revealed. Ooh, that's a $500 value. How to write, publish, and monetize your book the fast, fun, and easy way course. So this is an online course that you can take at your own pace. And this is a $500 value as well. However, I believe that this is priceless because
Right.
this is a comprehensive training that walks you through every single step. There's no fluff. This is just hardcore nuts and bolts of how to get from point A to point Z. The next one is marketing materials and content to use on social media. So everything is created for you, like Linda was saying earlier. This is a $1,500 value. Next, the interview opportunities with various podcasts and shows. That's a $500 value. Again, this is practically priceless because once you start getting yourself out there, your business is going to explode. So the next one is a book launch day campaign, which includes best-selling strategies. There's like a party. You get to jump on Zoom and join a party where we're all just celebrating as well. So the book launch day is super, super fun. And it's a way to get your book out there into the hands of your target audience. And in addition to all of these amazing bonuses, I am throwing in my own bonus as well, which is 6 months of group coaching so that I want to make sure that you actually do get to write your chapter and submit it and get it published. And then once it's published and out there, I will help you figure out how to create a marketing plan around your book to utilize it and leverage it to the highest expression.
Wow, that's
And
amazing, Latara. 6 months. That's amazing.
yes, and 4 one-on-one coaching sessions just to get you dialed in because I want you to be successful. I think Linda shares my sentiment that we don't just want to like have you write the chapter and then send you on your way. No, we want to support you in every step of the way of actually leveraging this as your marketing tool. So that's all included, and all you have to do is sign up for one of these chapters. All right, is there anything else that you would like to share, Linda?
Just that knowing that you do have a story to tell. So
Mhm.
whether you think you do or don't, you do. You know, it's like what's that saying that Henry Ford said? Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. You know, but you
Yep.
do have a story to tell. He was wrong related to stories, and you know the story is there to help others. And I remember somebody said, "Oh, I'm not gonna, I don't need to share my story because it's my story." And really, our stories, I believe our stories are not meant for us. They're meant for others. When we come through a situation, we have resilience, on the other side because we made it through to the other side. That resilience there is, your message of resilience is something that's going to help somebody else to remain resilient or to become resilient. So it's through us sharing our stories that helps us to help others to move forward. So, I think it's not fair for us to hold our stories and kind of a little bit. I don't like to use this word, but I'm going to use it anyway because somebody said it one day and it really struck a chord with me, which is not good. So I'm going to say it anyway. It's a little bit selfish for us to hold on to our stories because there are
Exactly.
people who need to hear our stories, our messages. So it's time to get them out there. What I love about the collaboration books is you write just one snippet of your story. You figure out which is the snippet that fits for this book, and then you just write about that. You don't have to worry about coming up with the whole entire book. You just write one
Exactly.
chapter.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Yes, we all have a story to share, and you could be the beacon and the light that helps transform other people's lives. So don't keep it all to yourself. Let your light shine.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Linda. I hope that everyone watching got some value out of this and maybe gave you some ideas on how to market your book or how to leverage your book to grow your business, or if you're still on the fence about being a published author, this is the perfect opportunity for you because you'll be supported along the way, and we'll all be growing together. So
Awesome. Thanks, Latara, for having me. Truly appreciate you.
thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Alan. Thank you for being here. Thank you,
Thank
Michael.
you.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you for everybody for watching. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Take care.